Mounjaro travel tips. I am fostering some puppies, so they may be coming in and out of the shot as we talk about Mounjaro travel. If you are doing traveling with Wegovy traveling, Ozempic traveling, or Mounjaro traveling, today is the episode for you. Make sure you check down below. I've lost over 35 pounds with Mounjaro weight loss, and these cute little fur balls, because of that weight loss, have enabled me to focus in on other things besides food. And I am so tired from fostering them. Link down below will be our Mounjaro success checklist and our Mounjaro weight loss encouragement group. Make sure you snag those free resources. Let's dive in. So I went in February to Disney, but it was 80 degrees when we went. So it was hot. So figuring out how to travel with Mounjaro when it's really hot outside, and also getting through TSA. We were on an airplane. The airplane ride from Virginia, which there's the Appalachian Mountains right there, you can see right there, is about an hour and a half plane ride. And so how did I get the prescription from Virginia there? And then I didn't take it for several days while we were there. So how did I finagle that with the hotel? Well, first and foremost, Mounjaro can be at room temperature for 21 days. 21 days. So if that helps you figure out, one of our awesome group members was going to Europe. That would be a little bit more challenging than, say, like traveling on a TSA to a different state, which we'll talk about that. And make sure you stay at the end. I've got a special bonus tip for you. So getting through TSA is not, for me, was not a challenge. And then that was coming back from the Orlando airport. I thought I actually would have more issues going from DC to Orlando, not Orlando back to Virginia, but it was no issue at all, like no issue at all. Just some planning. So one, what are you taking it with to get wherever your destination is? Two, does it have a refrigerator when you get there, depending on how many days it is? Knowing that if you had to, you can go 21 days with it being at room temperature. Just in Orlando heat, I was very worried about the heat component of it. Three, getting through TSA, having your prescription with you is also a wise thing, since it is, I think it's federal law. I'm pretty sure it is. And then making sure that it doesn't freeze. If you're using ice packs, I would check the temperature with the ice packs too, to see. 4 or 5, the puppies are confusing my counting numbers, the counting numbers on there. If you are traveling with other, like with my kid, the other thing would be with children. I was like, do not touch, my son's 7, like he's smart, he knows. I'm like, but do not get near my pen. Like, it is, even with all the safety mechanisms, I obviously wanted to make sure I was vocal about that, and as a parent, keeping that away from my kid. When I was on the plane, I kept it in my, underneath my seat. I did not want it in the overhead bin while I was flying, so I did keep it in the underneath, so I could watch it. And I didn't want it to get squished. The puppies are fighting, you can hear them. I didn't want it to get squished by somebody else putting their bag onto it, because again, part of it does have glass. So I wanted to make sure it didn't get squished while we were traveling. So, and if you are a visual learner, I will make sure I make a blog post with all of this too, with like a Mounjaro traveling checklist to help of what helped me, having gone through it now on one airplane, you know, back and forth. I do have another friend that travels via car frequently, and was like, it's so simple just to put it in your car. There are even little travel refrigerators, which I have several of them. I've tested them for my Amazon Lives. I will link those down below too if you're in a car trip. They're really easy to be able to use, and we actually have a solar generator, so it does not, like gas and propane, you can't leave in your car obviously because of the emissions, but with solar generators, those can travel. You plug the if you're going like camping or things like that, it's really simple to take with you while you're traveling with the solar generator, which are not expensive now, by the way. I'll link my favorite ones because I've tested like 30-40 generators on Amazon. I'll link my favorite solar generators down below, and then also my favorite refrigerators. They're mini ones like that you can use for skin. When you're traveling, I kept mine cold because I wanted it to be refrigerated, but you want to make sure Mounjaro does not work if it's frozen. If your injection pen Mounjaro, and I'm sure it's the same for Wegovy and Ozempic, if they're frozen, you have to throw out those pens, and that pen is like gold. So make sure it is not frozen by doing like an ice pack in it. Now I use my son's lunchbox to be able to put in the Mounjaro injection. Now, when I took that lunch bag with me, I had loose ice in a Ziploc bag, which to keep the ice pack cold. I had read something about, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I didn't want to have any issues about TSA having for gel packs need to not be slushy. They need to be frozen. So I kept ice, which I threw out obviously when I got to the airport, but it kept the ice in a Ziploc bag, ice pack, then Mounjaro. Again, being mindful you're not freezing the actual injection part of it, so you can test that in terms of temperature. Mine was fine. Because we were going to 80-degree temperatures, 80+ degree temperatures, I just didn't want it to get too hot. It can stay at room temperature though. Something to think about for 21 days without having issues. So in terms of your planning, just be thoughtful about the glass piece with it. That's the only other thing. This puppy wants to break out of her. I don't know if you guys can see. She keeps like running around. Here she comes. They're gonna, yeah, there she goes. There she goes. So making sure that you have, if you're doing the ice pack thing, that was really helpful for me. And then I just threw away the one ice pack and then used the gel pack. Now I threw that out when I got to the hotel because I didn't want to return with it in my suitcase. It was just one more cluttery thing that I couldn't, like caring for my son and packing his suitcase and mine and things like that. I took it on Wednesday. I did have side effects. We ended up going to Disney. I did have side effects, so much so that I actually had to, we went to Star Wars on Thursday and I had to like go home early. I let my family stay. I'm like, you guys stay. I don't feel good. And that was, how many injections in was I? Several weeks in. So it wasn't like it was my first one. So just being mindful of that, of your side effects. The one thing I would not do is titrating up too quickly. You see these girls? They're so funny. They're adoptable, by the way, for Homer Trails Animal Rescue here in Virginia. They are adoptable. They do go on adoption in the upcoming weeks. So they've always have a ton of senior dogs, and we love to foster. So those are some of our fosters that are available. So, and you can check out my affiliate links too. Those help to go pay at no cost to you. If you use anything off Amazon, use my link because we use that to help fund our fostering. But again, no pressure. You see these girls, they're digging a hole. I would not titrate up too quickly. That would be one thing that I would keep in mind is if you go too quickly, you could potentially get appendicitis or you can get, or gallbladder issues. So I didn't want to, when I was Mounjaro traveling, take it too early because of that. My doctor kept warning me earlier and I was a couple weeks, maybe a month in or something. I forget the timeline. No, I was 6 weeks in. I was 5 or 6 weeks in. I didn't want to titrate up too quickly because of appendicitis and gallbladder attacks. And then two, I didn't want to not take it. We came back on Friday. I didn't want to wait to take it on Friday because I wanted to stay consistent with taking it and not have those food cravings, which I do get because day 6 and day 7 are half life doses. I still do. Today is my 7th, like today I'm going to inject after this video and I still get, the appetite suppression is gone for me. So one thing to think about with all of that too, of like the scheduling component, you could potentially talk to your doctor about taking it, like if you plan, and that's where like strategy comes in with Mounjaro traveling or Wegovy traveling or Ozempic traveling, talk with your doctor or your medical professional who prescribed it. If you did take it early, maybe you take it on day 6 and then the next week you take it on day 6 to help make it for your travel dates. I don't know if someone's traveling, going over to the European vacation one, how someone would do that. It would be too much. It's planning. Like this is a lot of planning and then reverse engineering with that planning to make sure that you have your shot properly. That one is so cute. She's my favorite, but she's definitely a rascal. We've nicknamed her Rascal. She's eating the hose here. So I'm going to have a leaky hose now as well. So I would reverse engineer, I would plan physically taking it with you and then putting it in the refrigerator. We opted when we got to the hotel at Disney, they had a refrigerator. You can request hotel rooms that have refrigerators. You can request hotel rooms that do have refrigerators in them as well. Like that's something you can totally request to make sure that it stays cool. So we got there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I took it on Wednesday. But you can totally ask her for a refrigerator to make sure that it stays cool, or in your hotel room, you know, making sure it stays cool. But getting through TSA, not a big challenge as long as you have the prescription with you. I told the TSA agent right as I got to the TSA, I've got a prescription in here. And I like literally had my lunch bag. I've got a prescription in here. And they're like, great. It was all good. And then I just put it through the scanner. Those are my big trips for your Mounjaro injection, Wegovy injection, Ozempic injection. Let me know down in the comments below if you have questions. Would love to be a maximum service for you. Make sure that if you haven't already done so that you click follow here, get my free Mounjaro weight loss success checklist, and join my encouragement group. It's free for Mounjaro weight loss, Wegovy weight loss, and Ozempic weight loss. I'm cheering you on, sweet friends. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.